Hi friends and welcome back. Yeah, you're still gonna wobble. I cannot find a good, whatever you call it, to hold my phone. Without taking a huge space and having a big old, stand. So, anyways, what I've got going here is I want to make this Dollar Tree trellis into, I was hung up on the glue gun, into a kind of a floral kind of basket kind of thing that can either hang on the wall or can sit on the table. This one will probably be sitting on the table because if you put a wooden tray in front of it, it's going to be kind of heavy to be hanging on the wall unless you hang it by the tray, which can be done. I just probably will have this sitting like on a table. I am doing one that will just be a wall hanging. I have these that I picked up yesterday at the Dollar Tree also, and I'm probably going to be using some Waverly wax and antique chalk paint, and you're going to probably want some wood glue. I have my heavy duty nippers, and I'll tell you what, guys, I have to admit, I tried this. Now, where I live, I can't have power tools here to use. It's a big no-no. And I tried to cut this. I have one of those knives that says it'll cut anything, wood, blah, blah, blah. Okay? I'm going to get this out of my way now that I'm done talking about it. I did get this to cut. I do need this. I will need it for what I'm going to be doing here. But to cut like 8 pieces of this or more, well, it would have been 10. I would have been all day cutting, sawing with that knife. So I did something I really never thought I would do. But when I stopped and looked at the cost and figured it up, it really wasn't that less cost effective than buying a bunch of these. These are 3-pack for $1.12. And I would have used 3 packs of these to make one little wooden tray to set on the front of this. Yes, it probably would have been lighter, but what I bought, I'm still going to need this piece. Set him out of the way. What I bought was these at Walmart for $9.97. It's a set of 3 wooden trays, and because I only need just the one for today, the small one. And I still have 2 left. So I spent, get it to stay there. And look at the size. It is perfect for what I want. How cool is that? For $3.33, basically the same price, I have a wooden box. Yes, it has handles. I kind of like the handles. This is kind of what I'm going to need. Plus, we're going to need some zip ties. We're going to zip tie and glue the flowers in place. I also have this. I have been taking apart flowers, and really, I've thrown away so many partial stems of flowers that I'm just never going to use the rest. I just wanted some to kind of fill in places. So I went ahead and picked this up. Just because I don't have any that would look right with the lilac / lavender looking flowers that I'm going to use for this craft. And this is a 5-foot roll of eucalyptus. And I'm not going to use all of it at once. So, you know, when you only use bits and pieces, 778, 750, I think it was 748, really will last quite a while. So I did, guys, I'm sorry, I bought stuff pre-made. But when you figure I can't cut stuff up like they do, like a lot of people can, I pretty much was stuck with what I had. So sorry that explanation took so long, like a lot of minutes. So we're going to get to crafting. I'm going to try to get some of these off. Most of the time, I'll tell you, Dollar Tree has stepped up because these are really well made. I thought that I would just bend these, and they might, but these are really, really stiff. So what I think I'm going to do is, because I want this to stand inside this box, but I don't want it quite this far up, I want to take some of this off. So I'm going to use my nippers, and I'm going to score this wire because I don't want it that far up in the air. And then I'm going to bend. By scoring it, it broke off really easily. I'm going to kind of figure out how far down I came. And so now I have it the height I want. And I can get this in the box where I want it and not have to worry. I do want to put this piece of wood so that it holds it, because I don't want this to be flopping around in there. So I am going to try to trim this piece of wood down. So I have this trimmed down to size, and it fits in there perfectly. I'm going to go ahead, get my brush, and I'm going to put some of this on here, and hopefully they match. I really should not have been surprised that the colors matched perfectly. So if you ever use any Walmart wood or stuff like that, just know that these two colors match. I go ahead and I trim all of the floral stems off from the big heavy stem. This way I'm not stopping every time I want to use one and just having to clip them. It just makes it easier all the way through the process to have them already clipped off. And I very rarely ever use a full stem for any of my projects. This just makes it easier as I go along. And having them just ready, just grab one, put it on, and I'm ready to go. Getting ready to start putting these on kind of can be daunting, getting all the flowers ready to where you want them and spacing out the leaves so that the next flower lines up and not too many leaves in one spot. When you're using these flowers, whether they come from Walmart, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, the ends can come off, the flowers or the leaves. You may have to put a little bit of hot glue, give it a second, then add the flower back on. This way it's not constantly falling off on you. I had to do this finally just so that I wasn't fighting them through the whole craft. And after I got going, I actually lost a bit of footage, and I think it had to do with the fact I kept getting phone calls, pausing, going back, pausing, going back. And when I did that, it's like everybody, ESP, knew I was crafting. After I got all the flowers on, I went back through and I trimmed off all the tails on the zip ties. I also go back through and I put hot glue over all of the zip ties in any place I may need it. This helps secure the flowers a little better from rolling around. Even with the zip ties, they don't always come down tight against the wire and the flowers. Here I've got a little tip to show you. When you want to add a floral in and you have like this one is a leaf at the very end, pop that leaf off, stick the stem between what you're putting it on, add a little bit of hot glue, and then pop your last flower back on. This helps hold it in place. And here I'm using hot glue, and then I'm wrapping a leaf around it to help secure that, because the hot glue will sometimes melt your flower or your stem, and it's kind of good to have something that will help give it extra stability. And if it's not being seen, go ahead and use it. This is another spot I lost it. I didn't really get to show you the whole thing. I did add in the very middle a little bit of more, almost like a window effect of the flowers, and I grabbed a couple of these trees. Now the bird is, the white one is a pick. I don't remember if, I'm pretty sure I got it at the Dollar Tree like over a year ago when I started crafting. And I wasn't making craft videos. So I'm going to glue her on. This is one from the Dollar Tree when it first opened. It has a like a claw clip on it. And I'm going to put that one at the top looking down. And I'm going to turn this whole thing over. And I'm going to put a bunch of hot glue on the back of this to make sure that he stays put. I don't want him waggling around or falling off. This is where I'm showing you what I had to do on the inside. I actually put hot glue where the wire is on the inside, and then I put down my wood glue. And then I added my stick that I put the chalk paint on, the wax antique, and I laid that over top of it so that it lined up with the top of the box, which left a space. So I got some of the wooden tower blocks, and this is part of it that was missing, and added them along with a skewer. You can see part of the skewer there. I made myself a bow. I had problems with this bow. I just wanted a simple little folded bow, nothing extravagant. Guys, this thing would not stay. I used glue, hot glue, wood glue, and E6000. Nothing would hold this to the box. So what I ended up doing was I took some of the twine, the jute twine, and you see here I tied it to one handle, went around to the other, tied it, and just kept going back and forth, making a layer around it, and then took my hot glue, put it on there, and it just instantly stuck fast to that twine. And it looked really pretty. I liked how it looked with that twine around there. It just added a really nice effect. You can see here where I had to put the extra wood in underneath. And then I took and just added these clear glass beads, shoved them around in there, and I'm going to take this Dollar Tree Aroma and Diffuser. I'm going to put it in there, and I'm going to use cinnamon bark. This came from Walmart. Our Dollar Tree doesn't have any of the essential oils. You need to put 2 AAA batteries in it and open up the bottom, and there's a little disc that you're going to put in there, like a felt disc. Put a couple, I struggled with this bottom. Put a few drops of your essential oils on that, and putting it back on was just as hard as getting it back off. But once I did get it back on, I put the batteries in and turned it on, and it works. I always try to make sure everything works from the Dollar Tree before I finish what I'm going to do with it. And what I end up doing with this is, it's kind of a plain looking little deal. And he's not very pretty, just plain gray and white. So, I've got to bling it up. So get your batteries in it, check it out, make sure it works, and go get something and let's bling it up. I've got a friend, White Witch 110, that gave me some wonderful gifts from the Dollarama in Canada. And I'll tell you what, guys, I love blinging these little things up. I take this, I wrap it around, I trim it off, and it just makes this look so much nicer just doing that one little thing. I put it in there. I added a few of these wonderful little picks um, so that it doesn't look bland. And that's all I did, guys. And it looks so cute setting on my stand. I actually got rid of what I had setting there, and there it is, guys. It is complete. Um, it is really pretty, and it's not all that heavy. Um, it probably would be able to be hung on the wall, um, and it is just cute. But I would hang it by the wood box, not by the metal part. And it is just definitely a spring themed item. You can put red and white on this and make it for Valentine's Day. I just love lilacs. I grew up where my mother had lilacs and daffodils and roses. I just grew up with that kind of thing. I want to tell each and every one of you, thank you so much for being here. Please hit that like button and subscribe and click that notification bell. I will be uploading 3 times a week to this channel. I believe it's going to be Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays unless something special is coming up. Please watch for a special DIY on January 8th where I officially start the Valentine's crafting. So, everybody, have a wonderful day, and thank you so very much for being here. Bye bye, guys.